All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of We Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about elasticity. All right, now elasticity has to do with how much of a change in demand, okay, based on the change in price. Okay, so the change in demand in response to the change in price. So this has to do with elasticity. Now that has to do with price elasticity. So elasticity in general has to do with how much one variable changes based on the change in the second variable. Okay, so elasticity. Okay, change of one variable based on the change in the second variable. All right, so if you want to draw this on a graph, suppose this is your price, okay, and this is your quantity demanded. Okay, so how much will the price change your quantity demanded? Okay, because some products do not change the quantity demanded as much as some other products. All right, so if you have elasticity over here, okay, this has to do with change of one variable based on the change in the second variable. So if you look at the definition for price elasticity, for example, so this is your price elasticity. Elasticity. So when it comes to your price elasticity, this has to do with the ratio of quantity over price. Okay, so how much does the quantity either demanded or quantity supply changes? Okay, this is quantity supply based on the change in price. Okay, so this is price elasticity. Okay, if you were to draw this on a graph, this will be price over here. Okay, now when it comes to price elasticity, as I mentioned earlier, some products are inelastic. Okay, some products are inelastic. Okay, what that means is the ratio. Okay, let's say quantity to price ratio, okay, is less than one. All right, which basically means that quantity, either demand or supply, is greater than price. So if you break this down, the change in quantity, either demanded or supplied, is greater than price. So if you have change in price, let's say change in price is 100%, The change in quantity demanded or supplied will be 125%, for example. All right. So say, for example, if you give somebody $1, okay, you will get $10 in return. Okay, this is what that means. All right. Now, this has to do with elastic. All right. So elastic, okay. So change in quantity over change in price is less than one. Okay, so give me one moment over here. All right, so when we say change in quantity over change in price is less than one, this is basically saying that a quantity does not change as much with the change in price. Okay, and this has to do with basic necessities like food, water, shelter, so on and so forth. Okay, where people are in need of housing, for example. Okay, their need for housing does not change even though the price may change. Okay, um, in most cases. All right, because if you have a family, you need a house. Okay, then obviously you will buy the house wherever you can afford that house. All right. Um, so over here, okay, what you're going to say is, okay, your quantity, okay, is less, okay, than the change in price. So the change in quantity, either demanded or change in quantity supplied, is less than price. Put a delta or triangle over here, symbolizes change. Okay, so change in quantity is less than change in price. Now, if something is elastic, that basically means that for every unit of change in your price, okay, there will be more than one unit of change in quantity demanded or supplied. Okay, so say for example, if something is not a necessity, let's say a privilege, so to speak, or a luxury, all right, then your Q over P, either QD or QS over P, will be greater than 1, where your quantity, okay, demanded or supplied, QS, okay, will be more than your price. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's say your quantity over here is 125% change, and then price is 100%. Okay, so we know that this is, okay, 1.25. And because this is 1.25 is greater than 1, okay, it's elastic. Okay, this product, this commodity, this merchandise, this item, whatever the heck it might be, okay, it's elastic. All right, now apart from that, you also have unitary elastic. Now, what exactly is unitary elastic? So, unitary elastic, when it comes to unitary elastic, this basically means that this is equal to 1. All right, so this basically means that for every change in price, there will be an equal change in quantity demanded or supplied. So for every change, for every change in price. Okay, there will be equal, okay, change in quantity okay, this is quantity demanded or supplied. Change in QD or QS. Okay, now if you were to draw this on a graph, okay, suppose you were to draw a graph to show elastic, inelastic, and unit elastic products. Okay, you can start off with elastic. Okay, because the quantity demanded or supplied is more than the price or more than the change in price. Okay, this basically means that this curve, okay, will be something like this, for example. Okay, it will be closer to infinity. Okay, this is infinity. All right, so this curve will be something like this in terms of supply. Okay, and in terms of demand, it will be something like this. All right, close to infinity, close to a horizontal line. If something is inelastic, okay, this curve will be close to a vertical line. So suppose this is your vertical line. This will be your supply curve. And let's say this will be your demand curve. All right, so notice the difference between these two curves. And then if something is unitary elastic or unit elastic, okay, so in that case, this will be a vertical line. All right, so it basically means, okay, that, okay, for every unit of change in price, there will be an equal change in quantity, demanded or supplied. All right, so that would be it when it comes to elastic, inelastic, and unit elastic products and merchandise. On behalf of V Electronics, this is Obey. Have yourself a great day.